What's going on, everyone? You are watching the Cleveland Browns Report by Chat Sports. Mailbag time as I answer questions from our live show, which airs Mondays at 5 p.m. Eastern. So if you have a question you want to ask, come hang out with us this upcoming Monday, and we'll get you on screen. But let's kick things off with a Super Chat question from Joshua Miller. 24 penalties in 2 games. Absolutely unacceptable. More of a statement than a question, but yes, Josh, I completely agree. Penalties are becoming the 2024 Browns version of the 2023 Browns turnovers. Like, this is their self-inflicted wounds, which I'd rather have penalties than turnovers, but yeah, it is holding them back without a doubt. You can look at what the Browns have done through 2 weeks so far. 24 total penalties. That ranks dead last in the NFL, first, and not in a good way. So for me, penalties have to be the number one correction going into week 3 against the Giants. James Harper, any update on when Nick Chubb returns? No concrete update at this time. I still feel like it's plausible that we see him as early as week 5 when he's eligible to play. I feel like the Browns might have just put Nick Chubb on IR for what's best for the team versus what's best for himself, because they want to give Nick Chubb the max amount of time to kind of recover and rest and not rush him back too soon. I feel like if there was a playoff game in week 1, Nick Chubb could have played, and I'm just going on a limb in saying that, but I think the Browns just want to take the safe path with it and let him get an extra month of recovery in and rehab, and then when October gets here, we'll start to see Nick Chubb. Soul Train, if Amari catches the ball and they limit some of the penalties, I think the Browns win by a lot more. Also think they would look even better rushing. Amari Cooper and Deshaun Watson, it's not that they're not on the same page. They're on the same page. The ball is in Cooper's hands. He's just got to catch the football. If there's someone on this team that I had to put my life into to catch a football, it would be Amari Cooper. And I would still do that after watching him drop that pass against Dallas and against Jacksonville. He's going to get it figured out. He's going to correct it. I'm not concerned about Amari Cooper. You should not be concerned about Amari Cooper. I think Cooper is going to get right on track, and we're going to see him catch a touchdown this Sunday against the G-Men. Now, before we look at the other questions tossed into today's episode, a quick shout-out to our sponsor, PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. One Caleb Williams passing yard gets you 1 win on PrizePick every week in September. That's right, only 1 yard gets you an automatic win every single week in September. That's 4 Saturdays and Sundays of free W's. So don't miss this deal on PrizePicks because it's gone when September ends. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. I put all that information in the comments and description of today's video. PrizePicks, run your game. Jamon Manzi, do you see any outside signings coming in with the recent injuries? I'm sure there'll be some roster additions made, but I don't think it's going to be any big name of note. As guys go down, you'll see players get either poached from other teams' practice squad, which goes right to your active 53-man roster, which the Browns did with a linebacker from New Orleans last week, and they also added a couple of guys to their practice squad. But I don't think you're going to see any notable, Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport tweet, the Browns are going after Kareem Hunt, kind of like the Chiefs with Kareem Hunt after Isaiah Pacheco went down. So, Jamon, I think we could see the Browns make some small moves, but I don't think you're going to see anything rock the boat. IDG, what do you think about the win against the Jags? And will Conklin, Njoku, and Wills return in week 3? So I'm filming this on Monday, so I do not have the foresight to know what the injury updates for those guys will be and the practice and whatnot when this video probably goes out over the weekend. But if you want to hear my prediction before I know, I think we'll see Jack Conklin play. I don't think we'll see Njoku play, and I don't think we'll see Jed Wills play. That's my gut prediction. But Njoku is someone I would not bet against. So if there's someone I'm the least confident in for that prediction, it would probably be the Chief. But I feel like Conklin is very close to playing, and I don't think Wills is super close. And I think Njoku could probably miss this week because it's the Giants, but he came back after burning half his face off. So I do not say that with a lot of confidence when I say he may not play on Sunday. Jacob Kistner, would you start Foreman over Ford moving forward? Would you try to trade for someone or continue with the current room? I look at week 5 as the line, like the reinforcements marker. That's when I think you could get Nick Chubb. We are halfway there. I don't think you have to go outside for the next 2 weeks. I think you can get by with Jerome Ford, Pierre Strong Jr., and Deontay Foreman for the next 2 weeks against the Giants and the Raiders, who have some good defenses and some good defensive players. But when it comes to Ford versus Foreman, Foreman out carried Ford in week 2. Jerome Ford did have that big 37, 39-yard run on 4th down with Jameis Winston under center when it screamed quarterback sneak and they did outside run. So I would go with the hot hand. Like, you only have 2 weeks of this. Hot hand right now is Deontay Foreman. If he goes out on week 3 and has 2-3 bad series against the Giants, turn it over to Jerome Ford. But I would continue to ride the hot hand, whoever that may be. Zach Albury, next one up on the show. Would you rest guys against the Giants who are battling injuries like Myles Garrett? No, I wouldn't rest them because you're playing the Giants. I think that's a dangerous game to play in the NFL. There are 53 professional football players on the other sideline. Any given Sunday, anyone can win. So don't take that approach. If Myles Garrett simply can't play because he's not healthy, then yeah, shut him down. But no, I don't think your opponent in week 3 should factor into whether or not some of your star players play. Whether you're playing the Giants or you're playing the Chiefs, either they're healthy and they can play, or they're not healthy and they cannot play. That's my ruling on injuries. Now, when we get into week 16 and 17, that's a different story. As you get towards the playoffs there, maybe some of the seeding is already finalized, we can have a different conversation. But right now, this is a 1-1 football team. Don't sleep on the Giants. Don't let them be a sleeping giant and just completely chalk it up as a W. We don't need Myles Garrett. Kathy Sadecki, what's going on? What is going on with Hall and Lonnie Phelps? Lonnie Phelps is not on the team. What was he? He was released because he was arrested for something, and I don't remember what that something was. Mike Hall is on the commissioner's list. So as long as he is on that commissioner's list, he cannot practice, he cannot play. I don't know how much longer he'll be on it. The NFL is doing their investigation into his domestic dispute arrest from back in August. No updates on when that could wrap up. So at this point, it is wait and see mode. Drowning in music. If hypothetically Browns ditched Deshaun Watson, who would you like as QB? I'd kind of like to see Kevin Stefanski really draft a quarterback. Stefanski has shown us that he has the capability of winning with a lot of different quarterbacks and different style of quarterbacks, right? I mean, he had P.J. Walker beating the 49ers. He's got Joe Flacco leading this team to the playoffs. And he's got Deshaun Watson with a winning record as the Browns quarterback. And then there's Baker and Case Keenum mixed in as well. Like, I'd kind of like to see what would Kevin Stefanski want in a quarterback. Because this upcoming draft class, it's not as loaded as last year's. But to be honest, look at last year's quarterback class so far. Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels. They played a combined 6 games. They have 0 passing touchdowns so far. So maybe this is one of those examples of just when you think this is the loaded quarterback class and you think the next year isn't very good, maybe it's flip-flopped a little bit. But I would like to see Stefanski draft a quarterback, not go after one in free agency. Having said that, you've got an older roster and a roster that's ready to win right now with guys like Garrett and Smith and Ward. So if there is one player, Kirk Cousins, like if the Falcons want to move to Michael Penix quicker than anticipated, I think Kirk Cousins is a Falcon for at least 2 seasons, but it's the NFL. Things can change. But if he were to come available, I think that'd be a pretty good candidate, especially because Stefanski and Cousins overlapped in Minnesota. Kirk Davis, Do you think if we stop the penalties and Deshaun Watson plays better, we can go on a 4-game winning streak? I mean, let's look at the the Browns schedule just coming up here. They've got off the top of my head, they've got week 3 against the Giants, week 4 against the Raiders, week 5 against the Commanders, week 6 against the Eagles, with those last 3 games coming on the road. So, from a matchup perspective, I like the Browns more than the Giants. I like the Browns more than the Raiders. I like the Browns more than the Commanders. And it's hard to say who's going to be even playing for the Browns or the Eagles when we get to week 6 of the season, because injuries can drastically change things so much. But we'll see how the Eagles look in the next couple of weeks here. But yeah, if the Browns reduce the penalties, I don't see any reason why they can't rip off wins against the Giants, the Raiders, and the Commanders, because those are all teams they are more talented than. It just comes down to execution and lack of self-inflicting wounds. And if they get the execution kind of tightened up, which we saw in week 2, and they decrease the penalties, that's a perfect combination for a nice 3-4 game winning streak, Kirk. Thank you so much for your question, though. Last question coming in from James Harper. I hope everyone is enjoying their Victory Monday. Like the video, sub for dubs. James, appreciate the super chat. Like I said, filming on Monday right now. So enjoy your Victory Monday, Victory Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whenever you're watching this. Thank you guys so much for tuning into our mailbag today. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you guys with a watch party coming up here for week 3 against the Giants. So stick it with us right here 1 hour before kickoff, noon Eastern on Sunday, and we'll catch up with everyone later.